Hey guys, this is Death Cap again. Guys, really good Uriel build. I don't have any editing software or anything like that. It's five and just share some knowledge about this amazing build for him. I call it the top-down build. Personally, it's my favorite. I've been through multiple different builds all on the same loadout. I've only been just changing mods and stuff like that. It's only took me about 16 hours and gameplay to get this build going right. That's like not 16 hours straight. That's like 16 hours spread out between different time periods. But it was very, very easy to get him understood. Way that be simple for most, but still very devastating. This build is like probably one of your best, well-rounded builds that you'll see out there. Like you got all these people adding all this range and all this, that, and the other, and best strength. But man, look, stats speak for themselves. 5 duration, 235 range. Now that doesn't look like a lot to most, right? Let's just look at these shards. 75 for energy, 15 for duration, 15 for ability strength, 15 more duration, casting speed. That casting speed on him, it just makes him feel a lot more fluid, makes his abilities just kind of flow into each other a little better. Now, I am using Nourish on him. I wanted to originally buff my weapons, but where it's really at with this ability is that a lot of you may not know this, but his minions do proc viral onto enemies. And I'm pretty sure I saw his fourth proc viral onto enemies as well. Uh, just when you play, you'll see it for yourself. I've witnessed it in game. His minions do proc the viral, and it just that helps with the little energy pool that he has. You see this little energy pool, and you're like, oh my god, it's not enough. He's doing 116 for this ability and 25 for this ability. By the time that you actually, need to cast another ability, you'll have the energy that you need. You don't need to be like proccing this all the time and using it and building up your meter like you think you do. To be honest, I found sometimes more than not that this ability actually gives you a little bit more meter forth. So, uh, yeah, him is amazing. Ways, it's your survivability. It heals you. It makes you immune for a short duration. Actually, a lot longer than I expected. And once you do get his fourth, then everything's just simple. That's it, and everything around you dies, no matter what. Takes out acolytes with ease. They walk around thinking they're gonna do something, and they just die. You ain't even really gotta focus them. You just use it and treat them like they're another enemy because they are, right? So, yeah, this build's really, really good. I didn't put more shield on. I did at first. I had on 2 for shield and 1 for energy, and it just didn't seem necessary. You get like 1800 shield is so yeah, let's get right into it, guys. This is um this is the stats and the Archon shards. Here's the build. So we're gonna start with growing power. Gives you 25% more ability strength, so it takes you immediately over the 184. So that's over 200% ability strength, 235 range. And you got I'm sure footed so you don't get knocked on your butt, so you can damage. Less time on your butt, more damage you're dealing. Uh, Continuity, prime continuity is just giving you more duration right there. Equilibrium, that's for your energy, and that's why I say that that little energy pool doesn't really matter. You should be killing enemies fast enough with this build, with your weapons, synergy between them and your companion, to be able to get enough energy to to be able to, use your abilities and continue to flow with him. Line range for your strength. Efficiency is not necessarily important because of equilibrium and because of how powerful he is. Then you got Archon Intensify. Most people would probably be using Transient Fortitude in this place. That is a bad idea. I say that because yes, it gives you 55 ability strength, but this gives you 60, and it doesn't take away duration like Transient Fortitude does. Duration, because duration will keep your fourth up longer. Duration will keep your nourish up longer. Duration will cause demonium and to last longer. It's just all these abilities have duration, so having duration is just very much viable in uh most gameplay. Uh, we got Archon Vitality, to those heat procs damage to make them a little bit more juicy. Um, why not, give him a little bit more health? That also makes him a little more tanky, give him that little bit more health. He doesn't have a lot of armor, which is okay. Armor's not necessary. Shield gating, and his second ability should save you no matter what. Then we got Archon Stretch for your ability range, but as also get back electricity procs dealt through. I use this because, like any other thing you've seen for Driga, just it just works. And I have this on here right now, not even using Driga or the Hound, because the Hound also procs this. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but the Hound does proc this, and you will get energy in return for them using their respective abilities. Um, this right here is something that you can decide whether or not you want to use it, but I keep it on there regardless because it still gives you the same amount of ability range as Stretch does, but you get an extra little, something with it. Whenever you do want to switch to your Hound, I personally right now am running Nautilus Prime because Nautilus Prime helps you be able to get enough shield to be able to use the fire rate uh bond mod. I think it's called Tenacious Bond, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, not Tenacious Bond. It's I'll just I forget them sometimes too. Reinforced Bond. It allows you to use Reinforced Bond. See right there, 1,225 shield, and you get more shield whenever you reload. So you can just shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload, shoot, reload if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. You'll just kind of get it passively. Um, over shield anyways, and then yeah, so I use it for that. I do have 5 bond mods on here. Um, and then my Veriglass have have a very particular build. Gas cold. Why gas cold? Because primary frostbite. It's one of my favorite arcanes in the game. It has always been good. It's never been bad. People always want to compare arcanes, but each arcane has its own usability, and frostbite is very, very useful. You cannot tell me that running primary frostbite, a primary weapon, and there's vital sense that is on that weapon, not better. You cannot tell me that primary frostbite is not better than vital sense because primary frostbite is vital sense with 90% the shot. So it's a souped up version of it. So just take your vital sense off your primary, just take it off and use primary frostbite. Um, it's just I don't understand why people don't think that it's that great. I mean, they see all this big juicy damage from primary deadhead and merciless or whatever. Yeah, that's nice. 120% crit damage and 90 multi shot. It's like kind of a no brainer. It's kind of a no brainer. I don't know, but you'll do what you do. Um, as for the Uriel build, we'll continue with adaptation. Adaptations, distances. This is a mod that I feel like people are probably going to try to take off. I don't know why they would, but I feel like they might try to take this off for for the ability to put more range on. It's like something like Augur Reach that would give you 265 range. That's good, fine, and great and all, but you need the adaptation to protect everything in your kit. You know, not just your shield, but your health and your little bit of armor that you got. It's very useful. I don't see why anybody would want to not run him this. But yeah, so use that definitely for sure. Um, Overextended, you know, obviously your range to make it super juicy, and yes, it takes away strength, but like I said, the specific setup you see strength, it speaks for itself, right? It's 184. That's before growing power kicks in. So that's 25% more. So with growing power, that is 209%. Pardon me. Yeah, so growing power, it's 209%. And that's before multi augmented kicks in. So you get an extra 60% augmented, right? Then you got the new arcane concentration. This right here is very good. I don't know if people understand truly how it works. If they don't, it's very, very simple. Cast one ability. Next ability you cast within 3 seconds gets more duration. That's it. It's that simple. Like, first do more, have more duration, last longer. Cast your 3, cast your 2, and then cast nourish. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Whichever ability you want to cast, whatever the next ability is that you do cast, you get more duration. So you can cast Demonium, then cast Medium, where Medium will last longer, and then by casting Remedium, you just cast Nourish, and Nourish will also last longer. And then cast your fourth. Cast it like that in a row, like 2, and all 3 of these abilities, Medium, Nourish, and your Brimstone, will all have increased duration. And then if you still have energy, or if you're getting energy that fast, by the time you've casted your fourth, you can cast Demonium again, and that will also get duration. So if I was to normally cast my Nourish, I would get 45 seconds. But if I was to cast Demonium or Remedium, any other ability before it, and then cast it right after, you get 61 seconds duration. So yeah, very, very good, very, very potent. You see at the bottom, damage increased 82%. That's a lot, and that's without seeing what you get from multi augments. So yeah, this build is very, very strong, very well rounded. You guys like it? Just get out there, try it out. But this is my top down build. I haven't renamed the loadout yet. I will. And let's go ahead and do that right now. Yes, and this is a personal build. Uh like I said, it didn't take long. When you play Warframe long enough, things should just kind of flow, and someone like Uriel, he's extremely easy to use. So if there's anybody out there telling you that he's hard to use, don't listen to him. He's not. He's super easy. Um this is a setup that I don't think a lot of people are going to be using because they're going to be looking at all these juicy numbers and looking for extreme amounts of range, extreme amounts of duration, or extreme amounts of strength. Just go for what you feel best. But at the end of the day, I will highly recommend this build, not just because it's mine, but because I've seen what it does. I've seen what other builds do. I've tried a lot of things on him, and just from testing, doesn't feel viable to use anything else besides this. This is like a well-rounded, all-around. He can take on anything. Acolyte spawns in, you laugh at him. Your 3, nourish, your 4. You can just run around and minions will get him. Doesn't really matter. Attack him with your weapons, whatever you want to do. Acolyte, easy kill. Bosses, kill. Yeah, enjoy, guys. Y'all have a good day. Stay cool. Signing off, and don't forget to drop a like, share, subscribe, comment. Uh, your videos or builds that you guys would like, just leave them in the comments, and I will try to make them as soon as possible. Peace.